Hello, everyone. Um, so obviously, West Virginia is a great team, and that's proven by their undefeated record, and I know their coaching staff very well. So we know that they're well coached. We know that they're number one in the country in steals, and sometimes we just need another day or two or three, maybe to get prepared for for that kind of pressure. Um, really proud of our second half effort. Um, And I think that we just have to continue to figure out how to play well for longer stretches so that we can be competitive. Second half is usually too late to get going. So we'll keep building. But obviously, hats off to West Virginia for playing as well as they've been playing.
Coach, that first quarter especially kept kind of like with line changes and rotating, just to try to find a combination to work against the press, or is that kind of what you usually do, or
No, and I want to be careful because I don't ever want to take away from our opponents. Like we have played Kansas State and West Virginia, and I don't know how much difference anything would even make. But I do know we haven't been at full strength. And Braylon Milton just came back after being sick for 4 days. Maya Jackson is probably not going to play more than 10 minutes a game for the rest of the season. Um, so we just have stuff, right? People are sick, don't feel well, or playing because they care about this team and they want to give it everything they have, but just don't feel the best. So trying to find combinations, but also being mindful of limitations and restrictions and how many minutes you can play in a row and that sort of thing. So it has been difficult, but again, really proud of them and the fact that they want to be out here and play.
when you're talking about kind of preparing for that? I mean, you often hear stories from teams in the past. They'll go 5-on-7 in practice and try to. What kind of things did you guys do to try to simulate the full court press?
Oh, when I tell you, it just is a perfect storm because we're on Christmas break. So our practice guys that probably would have given us the best look, we didn't have them the whole time either. So it's very difficult to replicate with our second five against our first five what West Virginia looks like. So again, there's just been obstacles, and we're not going through anything different than a lot of teams in the country. And if you hadn't had any injuries and you are able to keep the same lineup, then you're just fortunate. And so we are just plugging through that, but really just trying to give them the best look we can, knowing that it's, again, very difficult to replicate. In our 15-person roster, I would argue that we have 4 guards and 11 forwards and centers. So again, when one or two is out and or limited, it makes being pressed really difficult.
I'm sure, like you mentioned, keeping the ball secure was an emphasis coming into this game. What was it about in the second half that your offense was able to control the ball?
I think sometimes it's just getting acclimated to what the press feels like. Again, trying to duplicate it is very difficult, especially, again, with no superior athletes out there like West Virginia has in order for our first 5 or the people our top 7 or 8 to go against. But just trying to get them to calm down and relax and see the floor a little better. Jillian Hayes played a big role in that. It seems as if when the ball goes back to the post, there's a little less pressure. So we try to give her the ball and let her bring it up a little bit, and that was a lot easier than trying to give it to one of our guards.
You guys have played several ranked teams now,
Yeah,
a couple that you mentioned to start Big 12 play. Just curious, can you kind of compare how you think West Virginia compares to those teams?
I tell you, I think that West Virginia, I refer to them as very handsy, very quick hands, smart about touching you one time, but not two to pick up that foul, just bugging you a little bit, like keeping you in front, like that sort of thing. I don't believe that we've played a team like that. I think that a lot of it has been a pack line, keep you in front, back up, let you shoot some mid-range. So that pressure on the perimeter has been different. The press is very similar to a Louisville that we opened up with in the beginning of the season. So, there's just a way top 25 teams are able to play, and that's what it felt like. It felt like another top 25.
You guys dominated on the boards, 15 offensive rebounds, but turned those just into 6 second chance points. Is that a matter of kicking it back out and restarting the offense, or where do you feel like you can improve that way?
Yeah, we talk about what we marry, what we engage, and what we date, and we marry rebounding. It doesn't matter if it's game day. It may go from 10 minutes to 7, but it's just strictly 2-on-3 rebounding, grab it, put it back up. I think there's a lot of things. I think that we just need to be tougher when we go back up. We don't kick out much. When you don't, again, have a lot of guards, kicking it out is a risk that you may not have it for that possession. So we're just better off getting it up there on the rim. So we have better nights finishing it than others. And this tonight was just one of those nights. And plus, for as small as West Virginia is on the perimeter, they're not small on the interior. And I think sometimes people are either big all over the place or maybe small all over the place and do 5 out. But here you've got scoring guards. I mean, JJ is special. And then here you come with Jordan, who is a sophomore, is incredible and has transitioned seamlessly into the Big 12. So, yeah, I think it's just a matter of sometimes we finish better than others.
Kind of with that in mind, take the defense out of the equation that West Virginia poses. What makes West Virginia so hard to prepare for?
Well, one, I think that if we have Ariel Jackson, who is similar as you can get to a JJ, but JJ is older, more experienced. I think has been battle tested a little more. So where we have a little bit of shiftiness, I would say that I would hope that JJ is who Ari will look like in another year or two. So when we are out here and we are starting a freshman and a sophomore and then bringing another freshman off the bench, I think what makes it tough is the experience that they have. You know, and Coach and I talked before the game, and I'm so happy for him. He talks about how much fun this team is to coach and how much he enjoys them. And I think that that's what you see out there. You see a team that enjoys being coached by him, that enjoys playing together. And I think that shows. I think that that's probably more of a reason that they're successful than any X and O thing you can come up with.
Coach, Kyle Watson from West Virginia is kind of one of those players who does, a little bit of everything. Tonight she scored, and I'm just kind of wondering, like, when you were scouting her, what did you see about her? And then, scoring hasn't been her biggest thing this year, but obviously she was successful tonight. But just what did you see when you guys were looking at her?
Well, I'll be honest. I was more concerned with Kylie because Kylie poses more of a matchup problem for us. And then there you go. And this is what top 25 teams do. When you try to take something away and or you put a plan against a certain play or to take away whatever, then someone else steps up. And so, I mean, when you have 4 people in double digits like that, it's just a matter of us being able to guard the ball a little better. I think we emphasize not getting beat outside, and I feel like that happened less today than it did against Kansas State. So what we're doing is really just trying to take some baby steps here to getting better and growing. But Kaya, just like the rest of the team, very talented. And I think that they are going to do whatever they can do, right? And sometimes if JJ's going off, then you may not see that from Kaya and some of the other players. But then the minute that it's going to be one of those even scoring nights, well, now you're going to have to deal with 4 or 5 people in double digits. And that's one of the reasons why, they're so good.